5:30 Connect to the Capitol, our monthly segment here on NBC 10 with Governor Dan McKee, and he brings us up to speed on what's happening in Rhode Island, including updates on the bridge, his push for an assault weapons ban in Rhode Island, and of course some other big topics. Governor, always good to see you. Thanks for making some time for us.
Well, Dan, thanks for the invite.
You're welcome. Let's get to something which I know that you're expecting and you've been defending, I believe, which is your proposed cabinet raises for your cabinet. We are dealing with a $250 million deficit. We just learned today the Trump administration is cutting $30 million to the Department of Health. Is this the right time?
It is, and that's the only time, quite frankly. By statute, the only time you can come in for cabinet raises is in the month of March.
Right.
So it does certainly put a spotlight on it, but we ought to stay competitive. When I came in, there was department heads, cabinet members who hadn't received a raise for 6 years. So, and then we got behind, and then we struggled to fill in a DCYF director. We struggled to, have other positions filled. We got them filled now with really good people. We're running into uncertain times. We want to make sure that they're in place to manage what's coming at us in Washington right now, which is not very pretty.
Why not wait until next March? You have a $250 million deficit, and as you know, you just found out the Trump administration is cutting $30 million to the Department of Health, and now you're saying let's give some raises to the people who are running some of these departments. The House Speaker, Sakarchi, a Democrat, has said that this isn't the right time. He's not sure it'll pass.
Well, that's a decision they can make, right? But the fact of the matter is that it's very, very defensible in terms of what we're doing. The timing is we only get that gap. This is the only time that you can actually make sure that we stay in competitive with other states in the region. And look, it's not like it's a big amount of money, although $80,000 of increases is $80,000. But it's not it's not the cuts that we're getting right now potentially from Washington. I think we should be, and especially the Republicans, should be speaking out about the impact that that's going to have on the state, and whether it's in education issues or business issues with the tariffs or the health issues. This is manageable, and yes, we have a structural deficit, but the budget that I've provided to the General Assembly, pass it as I presented it. It can be managed.
Right. When you say it's not a significant raise, there's this. Anytime a politician asks for raises, they get hit hard. But especially now, when people are dealing with egg prices and electric prices, for some of the heads, they're talking about a $10,000 raise. And viewers and taxpayers at home are saying, "Hey, I'd like $10,000." Why can't the governor just say, "Hey, hold on till next March"?
Well, these are a specialty type of individuals with special talents, special experience, and we're putting the price structure in a comparable basis with our bordering states, which we compete with. So I think that you level the playing field. We were I think that we created good contracts for the state workers where they received a very good raise. So we're making sure that, look, we're going to be competitive. And we're not going to be, just having second-rate type of people that are running our departments, especially when other people in the same departments, Dan, are getting paid more money than our department heads.
Right, that happens. We've seen that too. Let me bring up one person that our viewers overwhelmingly voiced about in terms of that, and that, of course, is the DOT director, Peter Alviti. When I posted this question, they said Alviti going from 188 to 192 in light of a bridge fiasco. How could the governor pass or want that?
Yeah, so you have to look at and balance the whole thing. Obviously, and we've talked about this, heck, you had me on early on when it was so devastating in terms of the backup of the traffic when I had to shut down the bridge for safety reasons. But since I made the decision that the bridge was being repaired, that couldn't be repaired, we need to rebuild the bridge, we've done very well. We've taken down the bridge. We got two contractors ready to bid on this project in early June. The money is in place, both state, federal, and the General Assembly has approved us to go out for
Can I just go back with
Alviti? That's all complicated things that you need good directions, director to actually implement that. So the very people that are being criticized, who are actually doing the work right now to deliver a bridge on a time frame, quite frankly, that's going to be significantly less than what we did with the Sakonnet or the Jamestown. So yes, I understand the feeling, I understand the frustration. you know, I have to make decisions on the best interest of the state at large.
Right,
And
especially
right
for those people, and we talk about this. You're sitting in that traffic for a half hour trying to get over the bridge on a day, and then you think of all the things that have been missed, and then you see the DOT director getting a $10,000 raise. You can see why taxpayers are like, what is going on?
I get it. You know, again, if there's in traffic for a half an hour right now, there's probably an accident. Clearly, that during that first 90 days, Dan,
I'm just talking about what they're saying.
significant.
You know, they're feeling that. I know the bridge. I'm saying they're feeling like, how does this guy get a $10,000 raise when this bridge
it's
is
$4,000 on this one. So the fact of the matter, look,
Fair.
we're not going to agree on everything.
Right.
I can tell you that the time frame, the statute says for any cabinet member,
Okay.
unlike any other employee in the state of Rhode Island, by the way,
right?
it has to wait to that time frame. That's the time frame. That's why it's the right time, and then we'll let the General Assembly decide whether they let it go or not.
And the voters will decide too, as well, as you know they always do. Let's
Yes.
talk about Hasbro. You were pretty frank and clear the last time we talked about them. Since then, that's a month ago. Have you had any discussions, or is this basically make your decision and whatever?
So we've heard very little from Hasbro since that meeting in early February. I know that we put on you know, a very good presentation and a plan that I believe it's difficult for them to walk away from. But we'll find out sooner than later. But right now,
there's crickets right now from them, right?
It's crickets. We know that there's a meeting at Hasbro that's coming up, you know, with the staff.
Right.
We don't know what it pertains to. We'll as soon as we find out, we're going to let people know what was going on there.
Okay, only about a minute left. I want to talk about the bridge. We just reported that the Key Bridge in Maryland that got hit by that cargo ship, they're going to start construction in this fall. What about the Washington Bridge? When are we going to get the shovels?
Yeah, so
in the ground?
I would say that we're on a time frame that I think is going to be equal to or better than what's happening. I'll have to check and see whether they're actually in the ground. But if it is, Governor Moore and I have been talking from Maryland. We're on a similar time frame.
Okay.
Right? It happened a year ago in Baltimore. We made the decision just about a year ago that we needed to build a new bridge. So we're basically on the same time frame when we decided that a new bridge needed to be built.
Let me quickly ask you this question about the $30 million that we learned today the Trump administration is cutting from the Department of Health. He's doing it to almost every state.
Yep.
Do you pick up the phone and say, hey, Mr. Trump, President, why are you doing this? You're killing me. Or do you think, okay, well, that was COVID money. COVID's kind of over now. What is your position as governor to fight back?
So the position there is that the monies that were in place were, timed to run out at the end of 26, which was the original time frame that we were given, to make sure that we're following up on anything to do with COVID, which we are still following up on issues that have to do with vaccination, mental health issues. We know we got the school issues. But my position is I'm talking to anyone in the cabinet that's willing to talk about. I talked to the Secretary of Interior last week about issues that have to do with energy. We'll be on the phone with the Secretary of Transportation talking about the allocation of funds for the bridge replacement.
And the delegation, obviously, you're talking
and all the time in the delegation.
Okay.
So I'm talking to all the cabinet members. We will certainly express our case to them relative to this health money.
All right, Governor, to give me the wrap, I'm going to try to host 10 news contracts so we can get a whole half an hour in.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your time.
Yes.
Best to your family.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.